Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? Ooh, there we go. Alright, turn my lights around, that's why it's so dark. Hi! Mind the glare on the glasses, I apologize. I have been getting headaches, and these are some brand new blue light filter glasses, and they really do help, I have found in this last week. Yeah, there's audio this time. I know, crazy. We're just moving on up in the world. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome to Level Up. This is our show where we kind of show off some cool things, peripherals, advice, stuff like that to level up your TTRPG experience. I have been stuck on some programs lately that I have been using to prep for the next big campaign that we're going to be launching over on Grimstone Gaming on the YouTube. The first one that I showcased is a really cool world map making program called Wonder Draft. And then the second one, the one that I am showing off now, and I showed off last week, is called Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is primarily best for battle maps. And what we're gonna dive into first is I'm gonna give you a little walkthrough, a virtual walkthrough, so to speak, of the tavern map that I built for our giveaway. We had a giveaway that we did because we hit 200 followers on the TikTok page by our second the goal that we had, our episode goal, and I'm putting together this map pack. And so we're going to show off one of these maps. And then afterward, I'm going to dive into the latest update that Dungeon Alchemist has put out, which is one of my favorite things about Dungeon Alchemist, is that they put out updates, free updates that add all kinds of upgrades and feature polishing things, quality of life updates, as well as tons of aesthetic and asset updates. So let's just jump right on in. So, welcome. I don't remember what I named this tavern. But this is the finished map. Now I have added a lot of the core assets, but I have also added a few downloaded assets. One of the other cool features that Dungeon Alchemist showcases is the Creation Club, which allows you to you can upload your maps and other people can download them, but there are also assets. These three-dimensional figures all over the map, those are assets, and they have made it so people can import their own, and so I have used some because they're just some really cool ones, but most of the ones that are on the screen are base game assets, some of which featured from this latest update. So yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right in. So cool feature, cinematic mode. You're gonna have to bear with me because it is a little bit treacherous to navigate this way. But we go into cinematic mode, and welcome to the tavern. Maybe you all in the chat, y'all can help me come up with a name for it tonight. Maybe. So you come in, and right off the bat, we are met with this weird creature in a jar. Looks like a baby beholder. And this black marble unicorn statue, which is meant to be this kind of little offering. You come and you give some coins to the unicorn statue for good luck. I think I intended on the name of the tavern having something to do with the black unicorn. But I didn't want to do the Black Unicorn Tavern because that seems a little too on the nose. But anyway, we have a fairly spacious dining room area. Got some cool artwork that we can check out. Another cool feature of Dungeon Alchemist is all of the paintings. You can add your own artwork to them. You can add image files, which is pretty great. I have a personal map that's covered in paintings of my wife's butt, which is pretty great. That map will cost you extra. But yeah, so we got some food, some cool things hanging on the walls here, some onion loaves, I guess. have a little bit of a hookah, and maybe a game of chess. All of the pieces on the board there are, you can manipulate them, so you could actually like have a chess game going, which I think is terribly neat. And then of course we have some shelves with all sorts of interesting items on them. One thing that I really like to put into my maps, especially a map like this, is little details that the players may not ever even really see, but if they are able to pick up on them, it's potentially something that could be plot related. For example, back here, this shelf where we have presumably would have all the booze, there's an owl. Hello. Look at that owl. He's just chilling. Pretty cool. That was an animated asset that I downloaded from the Creation Club. All of the labels here on the bottles you can replace, and I replaced this one with our Grimstone label, just a little Easter egg. You can put things on all these shelves down here. Now, some virtual tabletops do offer three-dimensional views. I don't know them off the top of my head. We're using Foundry, which offers the fog of war and dynamic lighting, but does not do first-person view or three-dimensional view. But it does have animations. So like the smoke there and the owl chilling up here will be animated on the map in Foundry, which is terribly cool. All right, moving right along. I hate how fast the pan is. So there we go into the kitchen. This is a tavern after all, so it would offer all sorts of victuals and carouses. We got breads and meats and dried meats hanging on the wall there. Looks like we're about to take out some fruit. We do have a nice wood-burning stove. Sink, because you gotta wash your hands. And then there's a chest, and then this down here is actually another chest. And one of the cool things about doing this is in first person is some of the things you can manipulate in the world. So when we get back to the bedroom of the owner of this establishment, we'll have to turn the lights on. But yeah, got a scale there. The lavatory, of course. And there's a mirror, which is really neat. If you look, the mirror is actually reflective of what is in the space with it. That is a relatively new feature, I think, and it's just terribly cool to me. So, yeah. All right. And then when we go through this door here, we go back into the proprietor's room. There is a cellar. We can't go down there, though. Let's turn on some lights. All right. Got a nice Shea lounge, some more paintings. Very lovely cloak and wizard hat. Set of drawers there, another bookcase, a bed, and very peculiar painting on the wall. That is a reference to our last campaign. A callback, if you will. But what's this under the bed here? A scythe? That's weird. Oh, and there's a perch, perhaps belonging to our owl friend. Who knows? See, the idea in dropping that scythe there is that if you're playing in the game and a player actually notices it, it could be something that, you know, is tied. Maybe the owner is missing, or maybe that scythe was stolen, or, you know, all kinds of stuff. And then this, you know, we got this bookcase over here, but this bookcase is just kind of weird. We have to jut it up against the wall. Oh my gosh, it is a hidden door. How players can detect hidden doors is up to you and your game at your table. But it appears the proprietor of this establishment is quite the collector of potions and arcane trinkets, including some cursed objects, it seems. Ooh, what's going on there? Oh, monkey's paw or hand of Vecna, maybe? I don't know. The detail is just great. It's just great. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Well, since there's nobody hanging out back here, we should probably put these lights out so we don't burn the place down. Just an incredible amount of detail. Again, don't know that players ever pick up on it, but I know it's there. And then, you know, the devil's in the details, as they say. Now, for the content packs that we will make available on our Patreon eventually, essentially when you join the Patreon, which we do have a Patreon, I don't actually know how to get to the address, which tells you how much I pay attention to that level of specificity there. But the Patreon, you know, Grimstone Gaming, what we're going to do once we have accumulated some members is every month we will release a digital content pack that will have maps and stuff like this. I will also be releasing like PDF files of my homebrew stuff, monsters, player species, spells, items, all sorts of stuff. And I will, in the content packs, we will make several different versions of the map available at different times of day with different lighting. Earthquake. I knew that was going to happen. Just a matter of time. Apologies for dropping y'all there. Everybody okay? Everybody good? Everybody, you take your Dramamine? Sorry. Ugh. I don't have a super great tripod for my webcam, unfortunately. Something I will eventually rectify. You can even, the level of detail in these maps, you can even open up all of the, I think it's all of the things. I guess maybe in this mode it's only that one, but if I drop back out and then come over here, yeah, you see how there's all these door icons? You can open all of them. Which again, a ridiculous detail, but cool to me. So yeah, let's go outside now though, because there's some cool stuff out there as well. Again, more in that hidden details, potential quest story things. So coming outside, one of the things that this tavern is known for is this strange tree and the legend of 3 warriors that trapped a ancient lich in the tree but were cursed and petrified in the process. I think it's just a rumor though. I don't think that's actually true. But it's cool nonetheless. That tree itself is from the latest update, the Fey Wild content, and I just thought it was too cool not to drop in here. It seems that my save file did not take because there's some ivy missing from over here, but that's okay. I can always put that back. And then going around the side of the building, we have some storage, some barrels. There is a cellar over here too. We did see a cellar entrance in the master bedroom. And then back here, there's some more storage and stuff. Over here, what's that? That's like some crates hidden under some ivy and a tarp. What's all that about? Perhaps the owner of this establishment is involved in some smuggling. Just again, some kind of little detail that the players may or may not even pick up on, but it gives you some potential stuff there. But we're gonna now go underwater. Splish splash. There's some water nearby. There's some really cool assets on the Steam Workshop that most of these have come from. I dropped this cool metal skull in there to again be some kind of little Easter egg detail kind of thing that might be quest related. And then over here is a monster of some sort. I just thought he was really cool looking, so I wanted to drop him in the map. Alright, so that's it. That is our tavern. What do we think? I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Just an uncanny level of detail, and I love locations, maps that tell a story, and I feel like this one does that. So, alright. I am gonna, because we're here and this is what I'm doing, I'm gonna drop the ivy on here that apparently did not take last time. That's one thing I will say, and they do say that in all of the you know, when you're downloading it and all over the page and everything, and in their Discord to save often. And I thought I did. That's the rub. Haha, rub. But that's okay. Now there are two things up here. You turn collisions on and off. Turning collisions off lets you drop things anywhere. Turning collisions on lets you only drop things where there is space for it. So I tend to do a mix of both, particularly with the wall items, because they'll snap to the wall. You'll notice what I did with this taller piece, because I don't really like when the ivy or any of the wall stuff goes up over the top. But turning collisions off and on, you can lower what plane it's on. So I'll put that there. Turn collisions back on. I'm gonna turn them back off, and now I'm just gonna spam some ivy into this area using the shift key, because the statues, they have ivy crawling up their legs, so I wanted to have ivy on the ground as well. There are tons and tons and tons of options for like aesthetics when it comes to the plants. Boreal forests, tropical, there's stuff that's in autumn colors and spring and summer colors. There's even like winter stuff now with snow. So it's like I said, just a terribly cool amount of stuff, assets, so that you can really make a cool, detailed map and make it feel unique. Yeah, I love this product. They don't endorse us in any way or shape or form, but I love this product. It has been a real treat to play with, and I think that it elevates our maps considerably. I'm gonna drop this side off. Yeah. And this side. That way, yeah, I like that. But there we go. So again, I got to come up with a name for it. How about, because we've got this black unicorn and then the Grimstone logo on the sign out here, we'll call it the Grimhoof Tavern. I think that is a good name. So I'm going to save it. And then you can also export the maps. There's a lot of different formats you can export them in. It supports a bunch of different virtual tabletops, as well as a print formatted or export and a video export. So if you have the means of just dropping the video file, yeah. They also offer print services. You can make a map with the express purpose of printing it and send it to this company that'll print a really nice map version of it. But yeah, I think that we're gonna call that one done. Just making sure I saved. All right, let's do a new map. Check out the Fey Plane. All right, so again, like I usually do, the setting up your map, you have a lot of options for the terrain type. Now we're checking out the Fey Plane because it's the new one. I have not played with it yet. I've looked at some of the assets, but I haven't really dug into it. You can choose your elevation, and they've added a lot of cool ideas here, and I want to check them out. So we're gonna do a vortex elevation in a crystal forest. Well, I'm not gonna put any water. I don't want to do any weather. We'll do room level at water at plateau, so I can have some pits and things like that, I think. And let's see what we got. Oh, what? Oh my gosh. That is, oh, it looks like Fruity Pebbles all over the screen. Wow, that's cool. So right out the gate, I want to make it nighttime because all of these glow. There's a lot. Wow, that's crazy. Maybe not that dense of crystals. They added all of these cool crystal shapes. You can change the color of all of these things too. The same thing goes with a lot of the assets that are in the game. You can change their color. You can reshape things as well, or resize things as well. So lots of options for customization. But yeah, I'm just gonna dive in. All right, first I think I want to clear some of the crystal because there's a lot going on. And to be fair, it did say crystal forest. Oh, it's a vortex. See, that the problem that I had with it is that the crystal forest kind of covered up the vortex a little bit. So I think what I'm gonna do is clear most of the crystals, and then I will go in and hand brush them in between. I think I'll leave some of them up here though because I like that aesthetic. I also have some downloaded assets that would look cool, I think, in this context. So with the lighting is really cool. You have a lot of versatility in terms of how bright and dark it is, how high or low the sun is, and what direction it is coming from, which gives you just a really cool, like I could literally make a maps for morning, noon, and night, you know, and that's just an impressive level of detail, I think. Yeah, so I like that. I think that's good. What's our terrain look like? Oh, wow, what even is all that? I love me some purple, so we're gonna put this, like, make this purple kind of splotchy through here. I think up the spirals. Neat. Now some of these look so similar. I wonder, like, what the difference actually is. But whatever. All right. So that tool up there in the top corner here lets you drop the map to 2 dimensions, which is sometimes really helpful for terrain painting, for making sure that your maps are congruent. If you want to have some symmetry, which I am a big fan of symmetry in some cases, so that is a very useful tool to have. I was really excited for this content pack as I watched the development of it, because the aesthetics here are so appropriate for the aesthetics in our homebrew game that we're working on, and I'm just really excited to put these into play. Like, the colors are just so cool. You put these like little bits of like green stone, and it pops up little bits of plants, and then I think I would like to do just little bits of moss and flowers on the very crest of these. So pretty. All right. I don't think any of the other than the molten gold, which you can totally like add, which it looks so cool to me. I think I have a place in my homebrew game that it would be perfect for. It's also lava, which is really neat and probably not appropriate. Let's do blood. The muddy water is always good for like cave aesthetic. Oh, it looks pretty good here, I think. Yeah, let's add some water. We'll show off that bit as well. So you can lower the terrain. Now if I were to just take the water tool and paint it over here, it would also do that. But I always find it works better to paint the terrain a little, to lower the terrain a little bit first, so that you get like it knows exactly where you want it to go, basically. And what I like to do is kind of come through and try to give it a little more natural break. And you do that by tweaking the brush strength and the size of the brush. And then what I'll also do is come in and pepper in some like rocks and plants and stuff right up on the bank. I also have caves, which is very cool. Just lowering the terrain. Yeah, I think that looks good. Now, as much as I like the Fruity Pebbles aesthetic we got going on, I think I am going to want a little bit more cohesion with my colors. I really like the color of this crystal, so I think what I want to play with, and this is a cool feature that Dungeon Alchemist also offers, is I can select that asset, and then I can come up here and copy that asset's properties, and then I can paste that asset's properties in a section. Oh, what? That didn't work. That usually works. Maybe I need to actually change the properties. Yeah, there we go. It's because I didn't actually change that one earlier. Yeah, I think the orange amber look is really nice. I like that. Oh yeah. Dark green looks really good in contrast. I think I'll pepper some of that through there too. I love that they also have like a faint flicker to them. I wish you could vary up the flicker though. One thing that I will say too, the level that it drops most of the assets on usually doesn't really work from the aesthetic that I'm going for, but having that collision tool turned off so you can raise and lower things really really helps with that. Okay, let's zoom in, copy, paste. Yeah. Do that a little bit over here. One of the other features that I hope they add, and this is something that's really cool, that they have this upvote page that you can go to, and you can put suggestions for features that you want to see, and people can vote for them. And the ones that get the votes, they do. Like it's amazing. So if you play D&D or other TTRPGs and you make virtual battle maps, this program is just a must-have, in my opinion. I'm gonna mingle these just a little bit more. Lots of keyboard shortcuts to work with this program, which is great. Oh, whoops. Some of the assets can be a bit of a challenge. Like getting their actual, like, the space in which you have to click them. Does that make sense? It can be challenging. So I think what I want to do is build these out a little bit so that it looks like the smaller ones are spreading from the bigger ones. Maybe that's how these crystals propagate. Again, a level of detail that maybe nobody will even notice, but I know it's there, and it's super chill. Like, it's just very zen, you know. It taps into that place that Legos kind of tapped into. Hey, Figgy, you can come up here. Come on. Come on. There you go. Say hi to Figaro, everybody. He's a Figaro. He is my fur child, and I'm surprised it took him this long, because I usually have the door closed, but I didn't tonight because it's kind of hot, and he usually insists on being in my lap whenever I'm sitting anywhere, but particularly in here, so he's going to be my helper tonight. Emotional support kitty. You good? Yes, please put your butt right up there. Thank you. Like, oh my gosh, he's so insistent. And if I stop petting him, he will stand up and he will walk around on my lap until I start petting him again. I love these flowers. These flowers are so pretty. I think I want to make them bigger and drop more. I'll drop my camera a little bit so we can see kind of see the kitty. He's mostly black. He's our little tuxedo guy. Alright, I really like what we've got going on. Alright, what else? What else do we want to play with? Let's drop some rocks. They do. Oh wow, the crystal assets have gotten crazy cool. Neat. These, I think you also, but you have different color options for those. Same thing with the geodes. You have a couple of different, you can change multiple colors. He's a good kitty. Anywho. I think I am going to drop some rocks though, because they do have these arch fey rocks or whatever. Let's put some of these around, really make this an interesting landscape, right? Some of these rock formations right smack in the middle of these crystals. I love the idea of like stone growing up out of the ground like that. The purple here looks in the ground looks really good too with this type of stone. Ooh yeah, there's stepping stones, and I think yeah, this one is meant to be like floating. Neat. So as you can see, just a metric butt ton of variety and options when it comes to the different asset aesthetics that you can drop into your games. This is much more satisfying. I've been playing, replaying Fallout 4, and I love it, don't get me wrong, but man, building settlements is so frustrating sometimes. Alright, yeah, that's pretty neat. I'm gonna drop you down there. Yeah, I like that. I like it. Let's add some of the Fae. Yeah, all I have to do is type Fae. Oop, that's Fet. get all of the Fae stuff, or at least the stuff with Fae in the name, which will be most of the Fae stuff. So you can, if you're just doing like looking for a specific Thet aesthetic, bye Figgy. It does make it easy because you can search. They also put floating plants, which I thought was really neat. And they're animated, so they literally like have this float aesthetic. They also and that's just really neat, right? And there's a couple. There's some flying flowers. Oh wow, they've added so many cool things. These are all trees. I wonder why they put all these flowers and mushrooms into the trees. And again, I suppose you can make things pretty big. We'll put some giant mushrooms around because why wouldn't you put giant mushrooms around? Like, I can't think of any reason not to. Oh, these are mushrooms are like floating too. Interesting. I don't love that, but that's cool. I love all of the plants that like glow. They've added so many of those. One of my big, like, look at that. That's just so neat. One of the things that whenever I first got it that I put into the upvote was bioluminescent. I really wanted some plants and things with bioluminescence, and they did not skimp on it. It took a while to get there, but it's pretty impressive still. It's such a neat the aesthetics. Oh, that's right. These are I just typed in Fae, so it's giving me all of the Fae stuff. Oh, these mushrooms are neat. There's so many now. Oh, I love it. I downloaded a bunch, but you know, I'll never say no to having some more mushrooms to put in play. Fae water plants are also really pretty. Just all of the Fae stuff really is very pretty. They did a good job with these aesthetics, I think. Well done, Dungeon Alchemist. Well done indeed. The Fae trees are freaking wicked. We're gonna sink you a little bit so that your roots are actually in the ground. And then we come and we get our smoothing tool. Drop the brush size, increase. And if you do that, you flatten the terrain to, it will flatten it to whatever height. Like if I, like watch, if I drag it out, see what I mean? just love the idea of just weird plants growing all over the Fae. Okay, I think that's pretty neat. I'm gonna move these flowers. And I think I want to drop a building. I'm gonna drop a building in here. Alright, so for making your buildings, you get these options up here, which these will populate your building with things, so doors and windows, lights, and objects. And the objects are dependent on what kind of room you're trying to build. So it will drop things. The AI that's built into Dungeon Alchemist will drop things in the room, procedurally generate them, I mean, that are appropriate for whatever the space is. Terribly neat. I usually don't use the AI stuff because it tends to go a little overboard for me, and I'd rather have a clean slate that I can drop my own stuff into, but it is sometimes good to get, you know, an idea. So we're going to put a little temple up here on the top of this spiral. And what I would like to do, because this is also one of the new features, I'm going to do ooh. Yeah, I like that. And we're going to make it round. So they finally added round and angled construction. It's not perfect. You have to make sure that you get your room's size, you know, right for it to work. But you get a pretty goodly amount of variety of options. So you can make some just really impressive designs, I think. Alright, let's see what this little round temple, what kind of walls it gives us. What do we got? Alright, so right out the gate, I don't love that aesthetic. That's okay. So we can change it. We can fix it. So this gives you some idea. Now, if you were trying to build a map really quick, this would be great. Like, you got plenty going on there. Turn our grid back on to see like what kind of, yeah, see, this whole map is 30 by 30. Got difficult terrain represented in a few spots, and then this center area. I usually would open up the area a little bit more just so it's not so visually muddled, but for procedurally generated stuff, I think that's pretty good. But we can do better. So now this is a Fae temple kind of deal. I do want to like see if there are any new. I'm really hoping they're going to add some more ruins. They have added some new wall designs. Cool. Let's go with whatever Gothic stone means. Alright, and as cool as all of this stuff in the middle here is, like I said earlier, I usually end up putting my own stuff, so that is gonna be the case this time. This is neat. This is a relatively new design idea that they've dropped in. This is the way that your objects paint. So see how they kind of do this grid pattern. Whoops. There we go. That is also new, and I love that. That is probably what I will do. Or we could have a ring. Yeah, this new update is killer. That is very cool. I am very pleased with that. All right, let's fix our doors. Let's fix our doors. I do like the idea of an archway there. I just don't like that archway in particular. So let's get rid of it. Where should the front be? I think the way we get to this temple is by water. So we're gonna, for now, and drop that there. Maybe. Do I like that one better? I don't know. Ooh. I think that's the winner. And then what I want to do is smooth out the terrain, or at least flatten it. Yeah, and then I can smooth out here. Yeah, dig it, dig it. All right, windows. Let's do some ornamental windows, maybe. See if we can find something that kind of goes with that vibe. Don't love it. Yeah, that's pretty close. Actually surprised they haven't added more like interesting, you know, architectural stuff, but with all of the crazy, like more stuff like this. So they have added some, but not a ton. Is there a doorway that matches that? I actually really dig that. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Because this is gonna marry our building to the landscape a little bit better. Cool. So we got that window there, or that door there, excuse me. And looking at the, I'm gonna put a window here, window there, window there, window there. Back. I do want to change those floors though. Don't love that either. I wonder. No. Thought about doing like a dirt one, but they don't have the dirt to match the outside, which is kind of stupid when you think about it. Maybe some cool tile? Bone tile. Maybe some cool tile? That is the lamest thing I've ever said in my life. If you're a tile enthusiast, I apologize. You know, that's alright. That'll do for now. You can change it at any time. And what's really cool is they usually have like complimentary sets. So you can drop some variety down so it's not quite so repetitious. Alright. Now I think that this temple gonna have some cool stuff. Some cool magic-y stuff. Perhaps an arcane crystal. Anti-magic cage. Oh, I love that the lights can be changed. Wow. That is so neat. You can freeze it. I'm telling you, if you haven't got this game yet, and you play these games, you put a giant chicken foot. There also is the house, like what is it, Baba Yaga's house? I don't remember what that house is actually called, if it has a name. This is a cool statue. Check this out. So, right, cool femme sort of, but not really, not hypersexualized or anything like that, which I love. But you can change like the color of her eyes and the color of the gem and the color of the light that she gives off. Right? How neat is that? I love it. I think having the sun come from that direction and lowering it some. Yeah, that way we get that cool dramatic shadow there. In a perfect world, there's a ceiling on this temple, and there is a ceiling view, like you can actually see the roof on some buildings in third person if you go into cinematic mode. So I'm going to put a diviner's font with this statue, I think. I'm going to drop it a little bit. And that water, that's just neat. It's just so neat. I love it. Their designs are just great. Okay, now you can add all kinds of details, as I have been doing and talked about earlier. And they have this way it's broken up over here. These different like categories. Wow, those are new. The stairs, the rounded stairs, I mean. Cool. Multi-leveled building is also on the way, which is something I'm very excited about. Alright, so masonry. What I've been curious about is how some of this stuff will work with the rounded walls. Yeah, it seems to work just fine. Neat. I haven't actually played with these at all. The buttresses. Buttress, golly. Neat. What kind of lights do we want Wall-mounted lanterns. Wall-mounted torches. Skeletal torch. Skull sconce. I don't love it. Alchemical lights are neat, but that doesn't really fit the vibe either. Actually, I don't love any of these for this aesthetic. Well, I'll have to keep fiddling around with it, I think. Well, we are past our hour mark now, so I'm gonna save this game, or save this map. We're gonna call this First Fay. Work in progress. And that's that. Alright. I think that covers us. Alright, well, thanks for hanging out. Be sure to come hang out with us next Tuesday. We will be back at it live with the D&D, our continuation of our D&D mini campaign, Coalescence, being led by our very own James Downey. Having so much fun playing that game. It's a great group. I love playing a big dumb himbo. And there's a lot of unbridled chaos. We will also be showing off the intro that Meg made, my wife Meg, and our Sean Lucier, one of our players in the group, did the music for. Yeah, be sure you go check out the TikTok. If you're not already subscribed on the YouTube, be sure to subscribe. We got lots of content coming y'all's way, and I can't wait to show you more. That's it for me, I think. So may the dice be ever in your favor, and never